Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our lessons in insanity. Now, obviously, there is still a lot of discussion going on about the failed assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. Now, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of discussion about his Secret Service protection. That's why you see what you see on your screen right now. So in this particular incident, you can see, I believe it's 2 or 3, what could only be defined as what appear to be not completely in the best of shape females, being at times what I would call bureaucratically apprehensive. They're not sure what to do. You can see one of these females attempting to holster her sidearm, and for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, fails to do so, and continues to have it in her hand, have the weapon in her hand. Now, why is that? Well, training. Training in core competencies. She is dealing with an adrenaline dump. You can tell that they are probably not experiencing in training what is happening right now. This is unfamiliar territory. So in the case of the female trying to holster her sidearm, she is in a loop. She is not sure what to do. You would have to physically tell her what to do, and then maybe she would do it. Now, how did we get to this point? How did the Secret Service get to the point of having these women in these positions? Well, it's DEI. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I talked before that I have worked for a couple of agencies. One agency in particular I will not name, but I will tell you it was at the time that I departed that agency, it was a requirement to have one female for every male. So if you hired a male, you had to hire a female. You had to. There essentially were no slots then for a male. If there were 20 males that were more qualified than a female, that did not matter. DEI. And this was a long time ago. This was 10 years ago. I'm sorry, more than that. But that was a requirement in the early, mid-2000s at that time. Now, that was a command decision, a personnel decision that was made in conjunction with human resources and command staff. And it was very much unpopular because we could see, in terms of quality and competencies, that they were hiring females because they had to hire females, not because they were better qualified. And now, with what you're seeing now in the Secret Service, we are also understanding that it is to some extent politicized. Yes, it's politicized. Politicized. Now, what's even more concerning, and this is absolutely the lesson in insanity, is the competitive nature of becoming a Secret Service agent. There are thousands of military male officers that ETS, that exit the service from the U.S. military, that are incredibly competent and go through the testing process, the competitive process to become a Secret Service agent. Now you're telling me that these two females, three females, however many were here protecting Donald Trump, you're telling me that they were more qualified than all the other males that were actively seeking this position. And I would have to say that is absolutely not the case. This is a DEI hire. These are DEI hires because they have to. Because they have to. And it's my belief that because of the political nature of the Secret Service, because of the political nature of the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, what happened under the Obama administration and what is happening right now under the U.S.A. Biden administration, that they probably, in all likelihood, gave Donald Trump a very low-end security detail. Look, there is no other explanation. The only other explanation is that we're looking at some sort of inside job. That the possibility that this was planned internally by persons of power inside of government. It is not that the Secret Service prevented the assassination of Donald Trump. The Secret Service did not prevent the assassination of Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump moving his head and the poor marksmanship of that individual that tried to take the shot. He got close. I mean, he wasn't that bad of a shot, depending on if he was using iron sights or if he had a Trigicon or some sort of other optic. It would not have to have been a incredibly expensive optic at 150 yards. But he did, and he was able to get off multiple shots at Donald Trump. He just missed, and he barely missed. As I've said before, 4 millimeters to the right, and we're having a different kind of conversation today. I don't know what the country looks like right now if that shot would have hit. But I can guarantee you this, and again, circling back to a lesson in insanity, there is probably 20 to 30 men that applied for this role to protect the former president of the United States and did not make the cut because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Absolute fact. You can physically see from the response of these females, they are borderline incompetent or simply don't lack the necessary training. If this was an aggressive assault unit of 4 to 8 individuals, again, we would be in another place in history right now. The Secret Service and the ununited states of America right now dodged a incredible bullet. And now here's the problem. We're still in this state right now. We are still in this insanity phase. This alleged shooter, I believe when Donald Trump was elected the first time, he was about 13 years old. At 13, you're probably not even looking at politics. That could be different for some and could be different for others. I don't even believe that this person who took a shot at Donald Trump had even voted yet. Just a child, 13 years old, when he was elected. But here's the problem, and I've talked about this before. It is the school systems. The school systems are indoctrinating and rolling out indoctrinated far left-wing activists. And many of these are now incredibly hardcore activists. And this is grade school. And then from grade school, they go into university, which are another much higher level of political indoctrination that takes place here in the un-United States. Hardcore, left-wing, neo-Marxist politics that is being taught and indoctrinated into young people. And that is why he did what he did. There are very few videos of the shooter. To my understanding, I've seen two. One is the Stanford video, the brief 10-second. And then there is the rant where he's in the street. Now, we can't confirm that, if that's actually him or not. Probably is. But you can hear his ideology. Slash the fascist's throat. Suck my whatever. Slash the fascist's throat. And he repeats that over and over again. So how did he get to this place? How did the shooter get to that point where he's running around in the street wanting to slash the throat of his fellow American citizens that he believes are quote-unquote fascists? It's the school system. It's the indoctrination that is taking place in the left-wing body politic here in the United States. It's happening. So this was a combo lesson in insanity. Obviously, the main discourse right now is how DEI is continuing to destroy not just federal agencies, municipal agencies, state agencies, and it will continue to happen. They are hiring unqualified personnel, especially in law enforcement. They're bringing in these people who have no business being in law enforcement, at least not this kind of law enforcement. I'm sure she would be a great dog catcher, preventing dogs from biting people, or a code enforcement officer. But on an elite detail of armed personnel designed for possible counter-assault duty, you be the judge. Have a good day.